they're taking the mickey out of me already. Good crew here on Sweet and Sour. We got a terrific panel lineup for you tonight as well. All of my favourites, I hope they're yours, and they're going to be talking about these issues. The majority of us, apparently, are totally ignorant when it comes to knowing what junk food is. We think we know, but do we? We've exchanged naked photos, not me, you understand, but the letter writer. Pretty hot, soon it turned to video, and then it got worse from there. It started coming in from all angles. How embarrassing when you're on a bus or a tram or a train, or that's what happened. They're nothing other than Kardashian Level Celebrities. The Royals. We'll see what the panellists have got to say. Join us right now. Sweet and Sour coming your way. Grab a coffee.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar in there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company, as I always say, because it really is terrific to have your company for the next chat-filled half hour. Who's up tonight? Hello, H.
Oh, hello, Gary.
How are you, sir?
Very good, thank you.
Got any good news for us?
Not at the moment. Just tread very carefully.
What are you on the show for? Have you got no good news for us?
I think next year's going to be a fantastic year. I think this year's just about done and dusted. Next year's going to be a better year for us all. I think there's a lot more mining projects coming on, so hopefully it'll stimulate the economy. We'll end up
so.
like Melbourne and Sydney, busy.
I hope so. Who's going to win the presidential elections next year? Probably Trump?
Trump will get in. He'll romp it in.
Yeah.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
I was almost going to say West Coast.
That'll do. It'll be better than him, I figure. Have you brought any fun to the show?
No.
Oh, yes, you have. You always bring... What do you mean, no? You're not allowed to be here. Yes, you have.
Well,
You
I've
always
got some
do.
news for you.
What?
There's no recession in romance.
Oh.
And here's some more news. People will always want love. Doesn't matter.
People will always want love.
People always
Why?
want love.
Where there's a recession.
And Susie's here too. And Suzie, the chat started already.
Sorry.
People will always want love.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
And there
I'm
will
here to
always...
bring it.
And when there's a recession, what happens? You can't afford love.
Well,
Hello,
you can
Susie.
but you can afford love. But I think when there's a recession, there's financial problems. Then there's more stress on relationships.
Stress on relationship. Doc, when you're in financial stress, what happens to your diet?
Well, you drink,
Welcome, sir.
you drink a lot more coffee, you eat a lot more crappy food, and you wonder why you're getting sicker and the economy's going down because we're wasting billions of dollars on sick people who should be healthy.
Oh, I'm going to leave now. It sounds like me.
I've summed it up.
You've summed it up. What do you got there?
Here you go, look. See this? It's called K-fibre.
And what is K-fibre?
It's actually K-food, the way I look at it. It is the single best gut food that I've ever come across.
It's called K-fibre.
Yeah.
The gut doc.
How much do you need?
A teaspoon a day. And
K-fibre.
it's kind of the stuff that feeds the gut. Everyone heard of the gut microbiome and everyone's heard of probiotics.
Yep.
Wrong. You've got to actually feed the stuff and all the good food you know.
Did you bring us all a sample?
I bought that Gary's sample.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
you can come to my place.
There's Gary's
The
sample.
entry fee is... We'll discuss that later.
The point is, it's the cheapest thing I've ever come across. It's going to fix the gut up.
Where do you get it?
Online.
Online?
K-fibre.
Doc,
Yep.
have you authored another book?
No, just an old book that I thought I'd bring. I actually authored it last year, so it's an old. I'm writing another book, by the way, and it's called about fibre.
Fibre.
You know, how exciting.
Well, it is exciting, though.
You study poo as well.
Yeah. I've got so many poo stories I can tell you.
No,
it's
no.
true. Stop that.
Speaking of which, this one's called Not So Fine Dining. Dear Sweet and Sour, I make good money and love my work, and I like to as much as I can, so I don't make time to cook. I'm lucky. I can afford to eat out every night and day and keep working, mixing business with pleasure. I'm paranoid about my health, wanting it to always be healthy, so I fine dine every day. A work colleague and friend from Europe joined me for dinner recently, and to my utter horror, astonished me with some facts on food and nutrition, and I was confronted with my poisonous food assumptions and total lack of understanding. Frankly, as I now understand it, my dining choices have been no healthier than the local fast food fare on offer. Do the panellists have any understanding of what makes junk food just that? I'm sure the majority of us are totally ignorant, which is why we're all so unsuspectingly unhealthy. Without having to study nutrition for the next 3 years, how does anyone learn to eat healthily? I thought I was doing the right thing for years. Despite my intake of fruit and veggies, I've been slowly killing myself, says Michael of Netherlands in WA. Lou, we're going to you first.
Oh, are we? Okay. All right. Well, I like fine dining.
You like fine dining?
Better than I like fast food.
Better than you like fast food,
Exactly.
but of course.
However, I don't think that you can really compare fine dining to fast food. There
Why
is
not?
some nutritional, because there's some nutritional value in fine dining.
What's
They're
fine
using
dining to you?
Well, fine dining to me is, well, the animal's only been killed once for a start, so that hasn't been re-butchered again.
Okay.
So, and you know, you have a lot of restaurants in fine dining restaurants, organic produce. You have.
Is it organic? Is that what matters? Do you know? The letter writer's asking, do you know what makes the difference between fine dining and junk and other fast food?
Is how good looking the waiter is. that
How good
delivers
looking
it.
the waiter is.
And this is much better for your health, because it's much better for your heart.
Do you know the difference between good oils and bad oils? Salts, no salts, all that sort of thing. Sugars, no sugars. Harry,
really
Harry,
unfair.
You know,
it is unfair. No, but it proves the point,
There's
isn't
only
it?
one person
We
that
all
actually
love fine dining, but
Okay,
we
but
don't know what
everything's in-
junk
if you're
food
doing
is.
it
Nobody
every-
out there knows what real good food
yeah,
is.
but if you're
either.
doing
Cure
anything every day, and unless you're doing
I'm doing
something-
everything.
if
Every
you're doing
day.
everything good every day, then you're going to feel amazing. And if you're not doing it, you know, anything in
But that's
moderation is
true.
okay.
But we don't know what good is. That's the point.
Don't you know what's good when you feel it in your own body?
There you go.
Well, there's a few bad things that feel fantastic in my body too, like chocolate and whatever. That's not
No,
necessarily the
chocolate's
measure.
good for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Which chocolate?
Brown chocolate,
No one knows. All right, H.
dark chocolate.
What's your
70%
take on
cocoa.
this?
Fine dining, that's parking the car.
K
and not-
fibre.
That's parking the car and not using the drive-through. So,
That's about it,
but
isn't it?
Look, with fine dining, I mean, what'll happen is that as time goes by and we have more blockchain technology, you'll be able to determine the provenance of what you eat, which farm it came from, what chemicals were used on it, where it came from. It's
No one's
happening.
got time for that, H.
Well, it's happening at the moment with they can do it in a lot of fast food chains. They've got provenance on where the actual food was, the amount of temperature it stayed in the truck and where it went and everything else. And I think...
See, Lou, that's the secret. Just confuse the shit out of everybody when there's a
but,
question like this.
But I think, look, at the end of the day, it all boils down to moderation. I think whatever fine dining is, I think if you eat tons and tons of high-fat diet all the time or high-meat diet or whatever, I think if you don't have balance, then you'll be imbalanced and you'll topple.
Doc, do we really
Taking
know
a risk saying that before.
what fine dining
Well, I'd like
is
to
and
pick up
what...
on my colleague's point about moderation. Moderation in the 21st century doesn't exist. We moderate ourselves. Everyone says, oh, moderation. I'm sorry. We eat crap food no matter what. Now, fine dining, if you're talking about eating veggies in fine dining, fantastic, okay? But if your fine dining is having a plate of meat with a plate of other processed food, that's not fine dining. Yeah, I think your definition is wrong out there. But the reality is we are so confused with all that information about health and healthy eating. We get so much bad information from the government, from all the vested interests out there. You know, it is bloody confusing. So where do you go? Well, you go to our website, Gut Health Australia.
Gut
Our
Health
Facebook group,
Australia.
Facebook
Gut
group.
Health Australia.
Yeah, and we put up the studies. You know, that's what separates. We actually show the studies that link. Because you've got to go to the internet for independent information now because everyone's getting paid off.
That's it.
Everyone's getting paid off. Susie, last word on this one.
Well, I agree. So much confusing information.
Confusing, we don't know.
I don't think fine dining is healthy for me. For me, I've been following the Michael Mosley not eating for 12, 14 hours and just eating really unprocessed carbs, and it's working for me. But you know, I'm definitely no expert. But in future, I'd like a question about architecture because this guy gets an advert, and I have not in 15 years I've been going on this show. Never, never a plug.
Next time you're on the
This is
show.
gut architecture.
Never a plug.
We asked you at home, do you believe fine dining is healthier than fast foods? Well, here's what you said. Because it's got the label fine dining, 62% of you were convinced to say yes and 38% said no. But when we delve into it, most people don't know. Most people just don't know. When we come back, we're going to be talking about sexting and videoing and sending things to your lover that will be seen over the shoulders, your shoulders, when you're on public transport and all that sort of thing. Don't go away, it gets juicy.
Juicy.
Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to one of those social media contact points that's on your screen right now. And for every letter that lands here and we rip apart with the panellists, we are going to send you to Palace Cinemas this week, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications, to see a movie of your choice.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's always nice. Have you seen the new Palace Cinemas?
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's in Perth, for those of you who are visiting Perth.
Fantastic.
Sensational.
Parking downstairs, you validate your ticket, and it only costs
Sensational.
$5 parking.
My wonderful boyfriend and I are in our late 40s, are madly in love, have full lives, live thousands of miles apart, but the distance isn't an issue for us despite longing to be with one another. Initially, we exchanged naked photos, which was pretty hot. Soon it turned into videos, which was okay, but recently the videos and photos are out of control. Last week, I was at a seminar. That's seminar. A message popped up at an unusual time. It was a video of him pleasuring himself. I shut it down quickly, but too late as the person sitting next to me saw it, and God knows who saw behind me. It happened while I was in a tram and several other public places, which has been embarrassing also. I tried letting him know I'm more aroused verbally than visually, trying to slow down the constant stream. I don't know how many times I need to see the same thing. Pretty much every photo he sends is of his penis. I now have over 200 of them, with videos fast catching up. I really love him, and I'm afraid if I tell him it's turning me off, not on, I might risk him ending it. What makes a man want to send so many photos of his penis and pleasuring himself? It's not like it looks different each time. Is it an addiction? How can I get him to stop? Carissa of South Yarra in Victoria. First up, we're going to the Doc. Doc, what's going on here?
Well, first of all, I'd get a smartphone. I'd get a smartphone that has a P, you know, pornography. And look, it is getting a little bit too far, and so be careful how you open it. But a little bit of fun, a naked photo. Look, I'm sure it's great, but
she doesn't want them, Doc.
Well, no, that was the original one, a naked photo. But it's bordering on obsession. I'd actually say even addiction. And the reality is, you've got to do something about it. And really, it's a comfortable chat. And the comfortable chat is really saying to that person who you love that perhaps you need to consider, you know, how I see things and feel about things. And women, if you want to put it in that context, women relate to men differently, or I relate to you differently, and I don't want so much of that because I love you so much. And just rephrase it in that positive verbiage.
Come on, Suzie.
Okay, I've got 3 sons, and I can tell you, if you've got sons,
My 3 sons, I remember that series.
You just know that, you know, their penis is there, like, they just love it. They've got their hands on it all the time. You know, I hope
But they're not sending you videos
no,
of it,
they're
are
not,
they?
they're not, but they might be sending their girlfriends videos. But I just want to say, first of all, if you're madly in love with him, why are you scared to tell him? Why can't you just say to him, if you're madly in love and you've got this amazing relationship, why is it that you have some doubt that he might end it? So to me, I'm sure Louanne will be able to pick up on this much better than I would. There is something there that you're scared of, and I wouldn't be scared. I seriously, just go and tell them.
All right, Louanne, why do men insist on sending videos and photos of their dicks?
Well, the dick pic is, you know, there's a lot of controversy of it. But I think that, you know, sending a photo of your penis and expecting somebody else to get an erection over it is, you know, because women don't, well, that's not how we, you know, get erections.
What should we be sending? What should men be sending?
Oh, look, the stats are, and this is incredible, Mills and Boon's books, there's like 1 Mills and Boon book sold every 3 seconds or something ridiculous
they
like
want
that.
romance.
Because women want to hear what you want to do to us, you know, what you're going to do to us. We want to actually hear about it and think about it, and that's, well, the quick snap visual is not
Doesn't
really
work.
But really the way to stop it is to communicate and to say, I think that's really wonderful, but why don't we set aside a time and do a FaceTime call, and we can both get off at the same time, you know, and we'll have a date, and we can actually do that, because you don't need to send it to me on times where I can't actually enjoy your magnificent penis. Let's do it together.
H, how successful are you when you send dick pics?
I've never sent one, and all I can say with you, Carissa, is tell him that it's shrinking over time. And that should start to reduce the quantity.
It seems to be getting smaller.
And it seems to be getting smaller. And you've done a comparison of some previous pictures. But realistically, I think the guy's a sick puppy and you need to get rid of him.
Sick puppies.
He's got no innovation.
No innovation, boring.
Once for him and then he thinks
if she's on the tram on the way to work in the morning and this guy's just, you know, like, here, have a look at this, like, seriously.
Yeah, but it could be night time for him.
We asked our viewers at home to answer this question for us. Is sending naked photos of yourself to your loved one now considered normal behaviour? And believe it or not,
It is.
67% of people expect to receive or send a dick pic at some point in time. 33% what would you call them?
Photo doesn't necessarily is not necessarily a dick pic.
What would it be?
It could be something, you know, a naked woman.
Oh,
photo.
she's a romantic.
Yeah, your armpits.
Skimpy. When we come back,
that
we're
could
going to
be
be talking about the spoiled royals. Don't go away, more of Sweet and Sour. We're going to be talking about dick pics before we come back, though. Who sent a dick pic?
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for sweet and sour.
How about some chili?
It's time for sweet and sour.
That's a pleasure.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. We're still talking about dick pics here. And the mindset that would send them. Is there anyone left who thinks that the British royals, apart from the Queen, are nothing other than Kardashian level celebrities and hangers-on? Now they have their own magazine hitting the market, which inches them above the Kardashians in the PR stakes. The royals have certainly had hundreds of reality shows screening over the years, just like that vacuous American family. I really am past their hypocrisy, double standards and sheer indulgences. Meghan and Harry make me sick using Elton's plane to go to and from holidays while encouraging the rest of us to cut down our carbon emissions. And what about Andrew having to deny, as he needs to, his cavorting with underage women despite his long-term association and holiday stays with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein? Can you please answer why the Australian Association with these obscenely entitled mega consumers has yet to be dispensed with? Peter of West Torrens in South Australia, and Suzie.
Oh, I'm first.
You're first.
Okay.
Why do we still have this association?
Well, I have to say,
Nostalgia.
in the 15 years that I've been coming on the show, in the early days, there were Republican questions all the time. I am interested in this because the Kardashians and the royals, there's obviously a similarity, except one is born into the, you know, and then they marry into it, and then they've got strict code of conduct. The Kardashians are like a behemoth of, you know, business. The reality is that whole hoo-ha about the plane trip. I mean, they went on if they'd gone on a standard plane and not Elton's plane to his house, they would have had more and more people. They would have probably had to have another plane. They've got all their aides and their, you know, bodyguards and whatever. So to be honest with you, I think it's all just bullshit. I actually do. This whole, even the question, I mean, do we really care what Meghan and Harry do with their, you know, their carbon emissions?
No, but you haven't answered the question.
No, I know, because I just think it's stupid.
Why are we still continuing this Australian association?
The whole ideal of us becoming a republic is finished. For at least until the Queen's over.
But why? Why haven't we dispensed with these people who are nothing more than celebrities? I understand in England it brings in money, but here...
Because it's tradition.
Oh, it's bullshit. What are we, nostalgic?
Hold on a second. I am pro a republic, but I don't see it ending anytime soon.
Oh, that's a different issue, and that's why they're writing in. Why are we still...
Because the appetite, the local appetite is
rubbish. We've got to be prompted to think about it. Gosh,
Do you
what
think
are we...
so?
I think so. Of course,
I mean, I hope so.
It's ridiculous. Dr. Pete.
Look, I agree. I'm Republican, okay? In Australia, by the way, in Australia. But look, at the end of the day, they feed what we need, and you know, there's a demand in the public out there saying,
They feed what we need.
we want to find out about who's tickling someone's fancy somewhere. And the problem is
There's a magazine on them now.
Well, I think it's probably great because it's not going to get filtered through the normal Murdoch stuff, which is
He probably owns the magazine.
But you know,
I hate Murdoch.
One thing I don't like about this letter is they are picking and choosing, and I agree. You know, they have to go on a private plane and they have to do certain things. And I think the Royals.
What about Prince Andrew?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me finish.
All right.
I think the Royals do a hell of a lot of good. They're good people doing good, and they're not the Kardashians. I don't even know who they are. I've heard of them only.
What good do you reckon Prince Andrew is doing?
Oh, I actually think they stand up for a lot of good values and good rights along the way. Now, I'm not talking from an Australian perspective, but for what they do, I think
Not from an Australian perspective.
Yeah, but I think they're actually doing some really good things behind the scenes. A lot of good things.
Well, they have to, don't they? They've got to justify something.
Well, they don't. That's the point. They don't have to anymore.
Well, if they want to hold their position,
Charlie
and that's all it's about. Well,
I know he just.
We asked you this question at home. Is the appeal of the Royals now one of simple celebrity? And guess what? This is what you said. 81% of people actually said, of course it is. Nothing more.
See, I think that's in Australia definitely, but I think they do stuff in UK.
Look, the Royals no longer look after people as they used to do. The time for feudalism is gone. We just haven't woken up because we're all primitive. Sorry about that. That's my view.
Weren't you on the Republican?
Absolutely. Everybody knows my colours here. I can't believe we even need to have these letters. Harry.
Oh, okay. Well, Gary knows my position. I love the Queen, and I think it's fantastic. And we need to have the Queen because
In Australia.
In Australia.
Because
I think it's because
what's the benefit she serves us here?
Because basically.
And remember, I don't put the Queen in the same category as these other people, the other hangers-on, because she's of a different era. But she's going to be gone soon, and then we've got hangers-on and bullshitters.
She's probably really happy at home at the moment.
Exactly. Look, the benefit is it gives us something to look towards from a royal perspective.
What does that mean?
Gary, let him go. Come on, Harry.
All right, Harry. At the end of the show, I'll let you go. Come on.
Look, at the end of the day,
gives us something to.
At the end of the day, all I can say is I had the opportunity to see her, and it was absolutely breathtaking.
Oh,
and just seeing her. That's it.
Harry's been Queen struck. Oh, so was I when I went to the movie. But that was Bohemian Rhapsody. That was a different story altogether. Lou, she's a monarchist as well. What's going on here?
Look, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be no dick pics in that royal,
Prince
magazine.
Andrew, honey.
Yeah, well,
Prince Andrew.
Do you know what?
He's different.
I'm English, all right, British. That's what my passport says.
But it works for them over there in terms of dollars. It's a tourism thing.
But at the end of the day, I think I'm the only person that never even saw the royal wedding. So I know, and I'm a romantic. But you're going to follow what you want to follow, and the propaganda and all the bullshit that's around it. If you want to have a look at a love story, if you want to follow some people, would you rather your kids following the royals that at least have their things put up to here and bye?
We love the Queen.
Harry loves the Queen. Louanne's a bit like this, even though she's English.
I don't care.
And be a Republican.
Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank you for being here. Folks, it's been terrific to have you. Thank our wonderful crew here
That's it.
at
Thank you,
TAFE.
crew.
And thanks for having us at home
Keep waving.
tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. This is it. This is it. Bye. The royal wave. Everybody, the royal wave. What makes it a royal wave?
I don't know.
You've got to twist the hand.
You got to.
Twist the hand very gently. That's
Did
it.
you watch The Crown?